So post Six Nations, a lot's been made about England having a lot of really good back rows at the moment, and maybe the most they've ever had, very deep in that area. So I had an idea for a video where I wanted to go into how many international back rows could England put out, and then in doing that I kind of went overboard as normal, and I analysed each of the back rows I thought were in contention, and please let me know if there's others that should be considered, I'm sure there are, and score them out of a load of categories out of 10 and use that to kind of inform my international back rows. But really the international back rows is a smaller part of it, so let's just get that straight out now. Here it is. These are my international back rows I think we could put out. I've gone to 6. You could argue maybe 5s might be the limit, or 4, but certainly there's 6 really good ones there, and I've just put them in not random order but some good combinations. Tom Curry, Ben Curry, I love the brothers together, that would be cool, and Tom Willis, that could be a first choice. Now I've put Jack Willis in there with a star because I'm hanging on to hope that maybe the powers that be will change essentially. There'll be a new board in and they'll come up with some new policies, because Jack Willis, it wasn't his fault he went to Toulouse. Obviously Wasps ceased to exist, so Jack Willis had to go somewhere, and of course why wouldn't you stay there when you're at one of the best clubs, if not the best club in the world? So I think that is an extenuating circumstance, so I would change the rules and have Jack Willis play, because I don't think it actually breaks their laws, because it does say if there's an exceptional circumstance they can play. But anyway, that aside, Jack Willis, Sam Underhill and Ben Earl, I mean that's a seriously good back row. And look at the third one, an all Bath back row maybe of Ted Hill, Guy Pepper and Alfie Barbary. That's 3 definite international back rows. Jack Kenningham's got to be close, could play 6 or 7. Young Henry Pollock, we know, has got some real star potential. Cunningham South, is he an 8 long term? Plenty of you guys have said in the comments he is, so I think that's definitely 4 international back rows. Tom Pearson is there or thereabouts. Fitz Harding is amazing for Bristol. Alex Dombrandt has been England's number 1 for a while and is out of favour at the moment, but he's still got plenty of good attributes. And even my last back row I think is pretty handy. Ollie Chesham can play 6, he's quick enough, amazing in the line out as well. Will Evans is one of the best scavengers, and Greg Fizzolau is getting better and better at 8. Maybe he won't stay at 8, I don't know, but those are 6 really good back rows, and I think definitely 4 international back rows. How many of those can you come up with? I went with 6, love to know what you think. And quickly, something I haven't mentioned for a while but I think might be of interest, I do have a discount code for manual home testosterone kits. Myself and my friends, we wanted to get tested. I reached out to them cheekily and said, can you offer our guys an extra discount? And they said yes. It's RugbyAnalyst 45 for 45% off. There is always a decent discount for first sign-ups, but this is going to be more. So if you were going to do it, use that code, get a bit more off, every little helps. So let's get into the details of what I thought about all of these 15 back rowers. Of course, I watch every England game, I watch every Premiership game as well, do videos on that as well, because I want to know as much as I can about these England qualified players. And I kept on adding different categories, and have I gone overboard? Well, yeah, absolutely, but it's fun and I thought it was a good way to do it. So this is just the impression I've had over this season for their teams and also for England, but let me know what you would think. I mean, whenever I put numbers up, sometimes people lose their minds, but if it's just within 1 or 2, I wouldn't be too upset. But if you think I've got something completely wrong, let me know. I'm sure I have somewhere, but this is just the impression I've got, and it's kind of comparative. The scores don't necessarily mean anything apart from compared to each other. So Alfie Barbary, in alphabetical order here, what does he bring? Well, it's ball carrying, nice and simple. When he transitioned to 8, his coaches at Bath said he could be the best ball carrier in the world. Is that the case? Well, not quite, but he's very, very effective. He's absolutely massive. You kind of know what's coming. He hasn't quite got that sidestep yet, and there's certain things he could add, but he's 10 for carrying because comparatively to the others, he's absolutely massive and he's a beast of a ball carrier, and that's what he brings. I also really like his handling. He's got nice soft hands. Can he play for a whole game? Maybe not at international level, but often you don't need to. But if you want a big ball carrier, he's absolutely a guy that can deliver that. And if England are down a couple of players, I think he could be one that gets called up. Will he get the call up for the summer? I think it's going to be 50-50 just because we've got so many people here. Now on to Chandler Cunningham South. He's a really interesting one. He's improved. He definitely has. He's lower on his mistakes. His tackling is like an absolute train. That's definitely something, if he lines you up, you often get ended. His carrying is massive as well. And he's pretty versatile. If they're going to be playing him second row sometimes, that adds another string to his bow. He can definitely play 6 and 8. Is his long-term position going to be 8? We will see. But if he can play 6-8 and second row, that makes you more pickable. So Cunningham South, and he's got a big limit there. I nearly went for a category saying what ceiling they have, but it was just too much. But he could get better and better. And talking of getting better, Ben Curry, he has absolutely improved, mainly in the power stakes. He already had great tackling and jackling and had amazing endurance. I'm kind of scoring him one of the top here. I know a lot of them have amazing fitness, but he just seems to keep going forever and ever, chasing back, always on the spot, never seems to be tired, just in the prime of his life. Very quick as well. He runs very upright, which I think kind of disguises his excellent speed. But as you can see from my kind of stats there, a very good all-rounder who's going to get a bit better. Then Tom Curry, his twin brother, has always been a bit bigger, a little bit more powerful, but Ben's catching up a bit. He's got that more experience as well, more likely to play 6 and 7, whereas Ben Curry probably more a 7, but of course all these guys can play 6 and 7. It's going to be very interesting to see how long Sale rests Tom Curry for. Ben Curry was straight back in there, so you could have a category saying kind of injury profile as well, because that is something to consider, but Tom Curry on his day is world class. Then Alex Dombrandt, the guy who was dropped for this Six Nations, still plenty to offer, and I think his big strength is his handling, his amazing line hitting. Now, he's a really good ball player, he's quick, he's powerful, he's big, but is his USP really getting stuck in and grinding? Probably not, and it depends on the game plan you want to play. He's a brilliant player out wide, and I think that's where you'd use him if you were to play him, but still has plenty to offer and some decent experience as well. Then Ben Earl, another guy who has improved and improved very recently, and across the board, very, very strong. That speed and power is a killer combination. He's got better at his breakdown work as well. His handling's improved. Very versatile. Good endurance. Obviously can play 7 and 8 and maybe in the centres as well going forward. So he is a guy who's not going to let you down in pretty much any area that I've looked at. Then a young back row to watch. Greg Fizzolau plays 8 a lot, but could also play 6 or 7. It'd be interesting to see how that goes. And again, he keeps going and going. His endurance is amazing. His speed is phenomenal. Another guy who could play in the backs, no problem. Because there's so much competition, I think it could be a while before he breaks in, but he's got all the qualities, and it's going to be interesting to see how he develops over the next couple of years. Then on to my guy, Ted Hill, the guy that I think should get more game time for England. He's been in the squad, just hasn't got that game time, but we did see him a second row cover a couple of times, and he is very versatile. He can play big 6, he can play 8, he can play second row, probably could play on the wing as well because his speed is phenomenal. Goodness me, when he gets in open space, this guy is maybe one of the fastest players on the pitch, kind of comparable to Ben Earl maybe I should score Earl at a 10 as well, but he's got a good line-out game as well, which is very useful, and he's got good endurance. He's an excellent all-rounder, but again, with the competition, it's going to be interesting to see if his prime years just slip by without him getting as many England caps as I think he should. Then on to Jack Kenningham of Harlequin. And a couple of these guys, Kenningham and Pearson in particular, were identified early by Eddie Jones before they'd really kind of matured. But Kenningham and Pearson are both coming into their peak, definitely, and Kenningham is all over the pitch, an amazing engine. But again, from the stats, you can see he's a really good all-rounder. He can tackle, he can carry, he's got some good speed on him, you can use him in the line-out potentially. Again, so much competition. I think it's going to be tough for him, to be honest, because I'm not sure there's one big USP that he's got, but as a guy who won't let you down, he is your man. Then Tom Pearson, very interesting. I'm just not quite sold on maybe his handling and also maybe some of his decisions, and I haven't put decisions in here, but physically he has it. Then Guy Pepper had an amazing performance at the weekend for Bath, and his move from Newcastle to Bath was a really good one, to be honest. He is an absolute star. He can do everything. He can tackle, brilliant over the ball. Endurance, I gave him a 10 just because he looks like he's got an unbelievable engine on him. And he's good everywhere. Maybe not the biggest, the quickest, the most powerful. But as a guy who can do absolutely everything, who's going to be on the spot every single time, make very few mistakes. He does score some good tries as well. Pepper could be your man. But again, so much competition at 7. I do see him as an out-and-out 7, hence the low versatility score. Now, another guy who I thought was going to be an out-and-out 7 was Henry Pollock, but he's been playing number 8 a lot for Northampton at the moment, and he is absolutely rapid. So his speed is maxed out there. His carrying's got so much better. Definitely when he played under 20s, I had a number of comments saying Can he match the physicality of the senior club game? And yes, he can. Then he came on for England, scored a couple of tries, had a couple of comments saying, yes, but can he step up against the big boys? Can he put those big tackles in? Well, that's something he's going to have to prove, and I think he'll get to prove it on the summer tour. Then Sam Underhill, again a forgotten man, wasn't involved in the Six Nations but came back for Bath with a bang, and this guy can tackle. Of course, it's a 10 for tackling, it's what he's known for, but he's better over the breakdown. He's improved his carrying, his power game, his handling's improved, and he's got stacks of experience, of course. Still plenty to give for England. It's going to be hard not to take him on a summer tour. Then the two Willis boys. Again, Jack Willis, that caveat saying that I still think England can pick him as an extenuating circumstance. Maybe it's pie in the sky, but he's so physically strong, amazing at the breakdown, great engine. He's really not weak anywhere. You could use him anywhere you want, and he's got plenty of experience as well. He's going to get back into those Champions Cup games, which are almost like mini internationals, but still, he's a great option if the RFU decide to let him play. And then his younger brother Tom, who I think has been the answer for England's number 8 problem. He is a typical number 8, a typical English number 8, who just wades through tackles, gets the hard yards, and again he's improved. His carrying, yes, is great, but I think his tackling was good. His power, he's a big lad as well, and he's getting bigger. You could use him potentially in the second row if you had to, as a line-out option. So I think he is a good all-round English number 8. So there we have it, 15 different players, a load of different scores. I've put up my different back rows I think that I could put out that are international quality, but of course I would love to know what you think. And yeah, if you do want to have that testosterone test at home, then it's 45% off with RugbyAnalyst 45. Anyway guys, do like, do subscribe, that would be amazing, and I'll catch you next time.